Life is a play and a fun. And the word is given to us to have fun. But we never have fun. We are always stressed. We always have one or the other problem. And it takes time. Yesterday I was listening to a neuroscientist and he rightly compared our brain with a cauliflower. You have a lot of wrinkles that you have in your clothes on your cauliflower. And when you stretch, those wrinkles are not there. But I'm now moving to the Eastern psychology. So the science says that we have billions and billions of neurons in the brain. And they are physical. But when we talk of Eastern psychology, they are like wrinkles. They are energy pathways. And in Tantra tradition, in Kundalini tradition, we say that we have 72,864 energy pathways. Energy pathways. You can compare the neurons with electrical wires, but the current is the energy pathways that we talk about in Eastern psychology. Now see another example that we all follow more or less the same path to reach to the studio, isn't it? Or do you change your streets and the highways to reach to the studio? If you come from your home, so you follow the same route. So if you follow the same route again and again, what happens? It creates the pathways in the brain. And that pathway, according to the neuroscience, we can come back to the Eastern psychology and we can say that when we regularly practice the meditation that we are doing in this class, it creates a pathway in the brain that takes you to the journey of peace and happiness. One thing very important, that your mind is constantly self-talking. What is self-talking? I'm into anxiety, I have a lot of problem, I did this and I have anxiety. So it is the same pathways it is creating. So after some time the brain says, okay, you are always crazy, so no problem, remain crazy. Remain in fear, remain in anxiety. Because I'm talking constantly to myself. So come on here, you can come here. So now when you are talking to yourself that yes, let me discover peace and happiness, that's what I have been telling again and again and again and again. Okay, you say, okay, let me discover peace and happiness. When you leave the class, no, let me discover anxiety and stress. What is this? But again, you think that one day affair will help you. I did it in your class. I said, let me discover peace and happiness. So there comes the connection of the mind. So all journey, any meditation practice starts with the mind. Mind has 3 defects. Come on, Marina, come on. So unless we get rid of these 3 defects, the brain is not going to change. Neuroscientists are right that if you fire the brain, you can rewire it. you can bring about the change. You can change the pathways. Then you start living in peace and happiness. It will raise your immunity. It will help you reduce your anxiety. It will manage your stress. But the triggering factor is the mind. So again, going back to the Eastern psychology, we say that we have three defects of the mind: the impurities, it moves into complementary opposites, and it has a deeper level of ignorance. And there comes our Kundalini meditation. So we get rid of that ignorance. Now understand a couple of things before doing the practice. Come on. So when we are, first step is that first few minutes we do nothing. So we move our mind to the deeper layer, and we want to be in the state of relaxation and steadiness. We don't want that. The problem is that we don't want that. Why? Oh, we have a lot of things to do in our life. We have a lot of things to do. And sometimes we think we are more intelligent. Okay, if you are intelligent, then why you have anxiety and stress? Ask yourself. So the first step, that relaxed and steady state, we should experience that level of awareness. That level of awareness starts creating the pathways. It starts changing the pathways. First thing. Second thing, contemplation. Contemplation changes your self-talk. What is self-talk? You wake up in the morning, I'm so tired, I have a lot of anxiety. My life is, God is to curse. Because if you curse me, I'll fire you back. I'm not responsible for your stress. So God is there. So that is why the contemplation, I add that contemplation point. The third step, then comes the third step, that how we can change this brain, how can we break the pathways of the brain that we have created that leads me to the stress and anxiety. But if you don't do it in a play and fun manner, then what happens? It is giving me lightness, I don't want to do it. It may lead me to some problem. You are jogging for half an hour, but you don't want to do even for 3 to 5 or 6 minutes. So these are the blockages in the mind. The mind has to be overpowered. For example, you go for a play. Those sports guys, like an athlete. Yeah. So the umpire says 3, 2, 1, and the athlete says, no, wait, I have a back pain. Will that work? You understand what I'm saying? A thief will never complain that he has a back pain. I will not steal. But we have a lot of complaints when we come. When we want to meditate. No, I want to sit like this. No, I will do like this. What is this? You're talking about your own pathways that has been created by the brain, and you don't want to change. You see what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I'm a little tougher today. No, you are listening to your mind. You don't want to change. So when you don't want to change, oh, this guy, he talks a lot, he doesn't do anything. Why should I do anything for you? Why don't you do it for yourself? Yoga and meditation is a journey to, you are 100% responsible. If you do it, you change. So that is why I always added during the last 1 year, Carmela has been regular, so I have been adding those different variations in the practices based on the observation. So then comes, after that, the next step comes that now you are not at all concerned about the external world. You have moved inside. The way you move inside and you are not aware in deep sleep, but in meditation you are aware, but you have moved deeper inside, you are nobody. You drop body identification, you drop that mind which says do something. Only then the real meditative state happens. When that happens, those 5 minutes, I could tell you that those 5 minutes is equal to 5 hours of the rest of the practices. We don't pay attention to it. Okay, he's saying. Let him say. No, many people have changed. I'm not saying, but I'm little tough that you have to put yourself into the journey. And the last thing, then we'll start with it. You follow one route to reach to the studio, second time, third time, fourth time, and after a week, after a month, it becomes so casual. So we have to follow the route to change the mind, to change the brain, to reduce our anxiety, to manage our stress, to live in peace and happiness. When you live in peace and happiness, then world becomes a play. Someone insulted you, thank you very much. Nishan? Yeah? So then you become instantly aware of it. Why? Because your pathways to the brain has changed. And your mind has reached to a higher state of the consciousness. And then you live, move and act into that state of the consciousness. The life changes. It is a life-changing process. I don't want to make myself proud of telling my own story of depression and the stress and anxiety. That's an American way. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested more in my own what I am now. So let us start with that journey today. Close your eyes. First step. Let us do it first 3 steps while sitting, and after that we will lie down. Is it okay?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you. No, I depend on you guys, you know. You tolerate me, so I have to tolerate you.
Of course.
Yeah, I see. That's good. But I'm not going to tolerate your stress and anxiety. Forget about it. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. The first thing, let your mind do nothing and see then what happens. The first thing, your mind goes to the discomfort. The moment it goes to discomfort anywhere, in any part of the body, what you do? You undo it. You're not doing anything, you simply undo it. See, every step follows the fundamentals of Eastern psychology. You are comfortable. Now the second, change the direction of the mind. How you change the direction of the mind? I know many of you have taken, it is so easy, I've been doing it, I know it, I can do it. Now see that I'm just opening up. You look at the neck joint and you feel the sensation and awareness. This is changing the direction of the mind. The Eastern psychology says if you do not change the direction of the mind from outside to inside, forget about anything. Then the rest of the practices will have no effect. And we take it so casual. Why? Okay, we know it. This guy is going to say the same thing. And we continue our self-talking. And then it doesn't happen. So look at the shoulder joints. Either I can say simply become aware. Either I can say feel the sensation. So because I'm guiding the group class, as the doctor was rightly pointed to me, And she is right. Can you become aware of the shoulder joints? Yes. That very awareness, it means the mind is there. And we don't pay attention to the small things. We are always excited to do big things. Hip joints, changing the direction, feeling the sensation and awareness. Knee joints, ankle joints, the entire body. This relaxed state, even for a minute, equals at least 5 or 6 steps that we are going to do. Oh, we don't care. Why this is such a small thing? It begins changing the pathways. I like it, I love it. And the next step, we experience the steadiness. We don't enforce the steadiness. We experience the steadiness in the body. Why? I have started giving an example of a car. You have parked the car outside, you have parked the body. You have parked the body, it means there is always a steadiness, but how the body moves, because of the defects of the mind according to the Eastern psychology, because of the impurity, because of the mind is constantly moving in complementary opposites, pain, pleasure, like, dislike, yes, no, and the ignorance. So if you experience the steadiness, what it means, for some time you said goodbye to your crazy mind. That takes you to a new level of awareness, my friends. In that moment, any mantra that you recite and contemplate are bound to become true in your life. We say, okay, let us chant like a singer. You can become a singer, but you can't become a meditator if you don't contemplate. So look inside the heart. And let me repeat the same mantra, Asato ma asatagamaya. Let me move from asat to sat. Asat causes mithya, that appears true but it is not true, causes me anxiety, stress, and the suffering. And Sat is ever present within me, of the nature of peace and happiness. So I know we all are intelligent, you all are intelligent, you communicate to your mind all the time, self-talking. Why don't you start self-talking? Let me move into peace and happiness. So look deep inside your heart, Asato ma asatagamaya. Let me move from untruth to the truth to discover peace, happiness, love, and wisdom in my life. These 5 minutes, 6 minutes are required in a variety of ways in all meditation practices. Why? Because it sets the goal. Now you know the pathway that you want to tread. We don't do it. We always look for 1 minute mindfulness, 1 minute meditation, 5 minutes. Oh, you do 5 minutes. As if nothing can help you to reach to your house in 5 minutes, that you know by surety, but you want to meditate in 1 minute. Look at it. And we are swayed by those things. It's a journey, my friend. So once we reach to that state, we get a glimpse of the higher state of the mind. There, let us do our breathing practice now. Let your mind say no to should not say no. So bring your right hand on both the nostril. Close your right nostril. Keep the body steady. Start inhaling deep in the fast through the left nostril. Long, fast, ocean breath. You are playing with the breath. So when you play with it, you have no issue. Let us play with it today. Play with it. Long, yes, wonderful. I like it. Yes, continue. You see that? Those 7 minutes of the previous tips helps you to keep your mind focused. We don't need to focus. It becomes focused. Wonderful. Now close your left nostril and start with the right. It is long. Now you hear the sound of a wind in a storm. You should hear that kind of a sound of your own breath, and others are also doing it, combines with it. Continue. 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 Fun and play. You are playing with the breath. When your mind says, yes, I'm playing with the breath, you will definitely continue. And when your mind says, no, this is too much. Money is never too much. Our sleep is never too much. But the breathing practice is always too much. Now bring the hands down with both the nostrils, the same. No movement of the neck and the spine. Continue. Long in the hissing breath. 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 Continue. And just stop. Just stop it. There is nothing mystical about this program. I always want to be totally open. So now you learn from your own experiences. What you did the 3-step breathing. It was long hissing and the fast breath. Now experience the sensation that will tell you the changes. Head and the neck. Experience outside and inside. So I'm adding the 3 words because that leads you to a deepening of the sensation, a sense of relaxation, and an experience of stillness. And if that is your experience, you are on a journey. You did not stop for it. Both the arms. We experience the sensation, relaxation, and the stillness. I know when scientists in Princeton told me that that's obvious that we'll feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. And I told him, my friend, stop intellectualization, become aware of the moment you are in. And he agreed to it. Being aware of that moment and that experience of the sensation, relaxation, and stillness helps you. Intellectualization doesn't help. So look at both the legs. Who does the intellectualization? he never does the practice and he says, I know it. Knowing in yoga is knowing by experience, knowing by conscious awareness and attention. That changes. These are the subtle points I always add in order to maximize the benefit. Let us move to the second round of the same practice, and after that we will lie down. Close your right nostril and start breathing long and the hissing through the left nostril. Wonderful. Continue, my friends. This is really good today. I don't know why it is a play and a fun today with all of you. Please continue. My friends, continue. 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 Mind should not go to the problems and it starts complaining during the practice. And now change the switch on the nostril, close your left nostril and start with the right. Did I not give you an example of a thief and a sports person? When he is ready, he is ready. He has no time to complain. Come on. Are you playing with the meditation? You will succeed. You are complaining in meditation, you will fail. Because of you, not because of me. My friends, continue. Long and the hissing breath. Long and the hissing breath. And leave it with both the nostrils together. Bring your hands down with both the nostrils. Long and the hissing breath. These are the active steps by which we are asking the mind to follow a different route than the mechanical and the habitual route. And that changes the brain, that fires the brain to rewire it. Continue. Long in the hissing. Don't. And stop it with a gentle movement now. Those who wants to lie down on their back, they can do so. Don't do it habitually. Become aware that the way you are moving your body. If you want to continue sitting, it is okay. You want to lie down, it is okay. And again, for a moment, adjust and align. What? So that the discomfort is not there. Relaxed state is there, stillness is there, sensation is there. Sensation now has gone up. Why? Meditation is to learn from your own experiences. The teacher is not going to do anything. He will simply point you out. This is the way. Now take your mind on the breath. So your mind is on the breath. Start breathing deep, silent and slow. What did I say? Deep, silent and slow. The simple reason, the simple secret is hidden behind the deep, silent and slow breath is that you raise your awareness and attention to the peak. Why? You know the breath has to be deep. No noise should be there. When the breath goes, you feel the sensation of rising of the belly. It continues rising of the chest, and the breath is totally silent. What we start paying attention to, the physical activity. You do it for 10 years, nothing is going to happen. Yes, only one thing, your lungs will always be free from any problem. But meditation would be too far from you. You see the very subtle points. That's how our Eastern psychological text explains this. Continue. Deep, silent and slow breath. Now we are bypassing the body, the external world. As you move inside your home, your mind has an intent to sleep. You go into your bedroom, you lie down, and you are ready. So at that moment, now you want to go into a meditative state. So you said goodbye to your body. Yes, you see that point? When you said goodbye to the body is already parked. It has nothing to do. It has not to play any role, so to say. It is a very simple difference. A guy was driving his car on the highway and he lost his way. So he found a person standing on a road. He stopped it and he asked where this highway goes. The guy said, highway goes nowhere. Let me know where you want to go so that I can guide you. We consider both are same. In meditation, everything becomes different. So your deep, silent and slow breath is a testimony that you are bypassing the mind and the body. You're moving into a different state. And in that state, your deep, silent and slow breath will remain the same when you inhale. But the moment you start exhaling, you start the humming sound. Yes, that's wonderful. Continue, my friends. You should enjoy. You are playing with it. You have a fun with the sound. No effort at all. When there is no effort at all, you go deeper. stop it, do nothing. You are just in a mode of doing nothing. There have been, I have been repeating it, there has been 3,000 masters. We have 3,000 texts. And every text is a dialogue between a master and a disciple. Only 2 or 3 masters follows this path of this meditation from top to the bottom. The moment you follow it from the top to the bottom, you don't have any danger on the path. And you start pulling yourself from millions of cravings and desires and the anxiety that is buried down. There is always a danger. So let us move from the top to the bottom. The moment the breath goes in, look at any point on the forehead. The breath comes out, look at the same point on the forehead. Understand that very subtle point. The mantra is not important. So if your mind considers the mantra is important, you are in a kindergarten. But if you go behind the mantra, you are in a deep meditative state. But how to go about it? The moment the breath goes in, you look inside the forehead, drop the sound Om. Breath comes out, drop the sound Om. So Om is a device used to drop the mind into the space and merge there. For a fraction of a millisecond, you become nobody. And that becoming nobody is the state of meditation. And if that happens, it will bring the best out of you. But there are other things to be considered, not as an effort. The car is parked outside, means body is totally in the state of stillness. However, the moment you experience, you drop that Om in the space and you merge into the space, the next moment you experience the freezing, the numbness in the body. It comes from there. Provided you continue to keep the car parked. You don't change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. We miss these points. To mark it, we talk about mantra, we talk about lot of other things. And in deeper meditation, they are irrelevant. Even if someone snores, that should make you aware. That should continue the journey. Don't worry about others. You are totally self-oriented. And now the breath goes in, look inside the throat at any point. Don't worry about it. Look at a point on the throat, deep inside in the space, and drop the sound hum. Breath comes out, drop the sound hum. Casually, no movement of the lips or the tongue. And then you will discover scientists are right to say that you can fire the brain to rewire it. but they have to be very clear about the mind and the brain. We deal extensively the entity which is known as the mind. The Eastern wisdom is very clear about the mind, its factors, the causes of the stress, the defects, the impurities, and the state of mindfulness and the meditation. Follow every study that the science does at the objective level, but always do the practice following the principles of Eastern psychology. You will prevent yourself from any form of exploitation and you will get the best result. Anyhow, choice is yours. What you are doing, in fact, you are not doing anything for the sake of doing now. The moment the breath goes in, look inside your heart and drop the sound yum. The breath comes out, yum. Goes in, yum. Comes out, yum. You simply drop gently as if you are in intense and immense love. The moment you say yum, in deep, so-called intense love, there is a kind of self-absorption. That sense of awareness should prevail. And that helps you to transcend the body. You become nobody. In that state of nobody, the meditation blossoms. Flowers. And that blossoming, that flowering is your awakening. So blossoming and flowering has been symbolically explained as chakras. As the science says, they do not know enough about the brain. We say we don't know enough about the higher states of the consciousness that can never be discovered by the intellect, by the past information, that can only be discovered by living into it. That is meditation. So we need not to think a lot about the past information during the practice. And now do nothing, remain as you are. What a bud has to do when it blossoms and becomes a flower? What it has to do? It simply, naturally, by default, the fragrance goes everywhere. It goes into the body, it leads you to a different experience. It goes into the mind. Mind says, wow moment. Freedom, joy, peace, happiness, wisdom. We have to do nothing. You all are in that state of meditation. You have become a flowering. That is the ultimate expression of the chakra. That no matter what happens in this external world, in relationship with possessions, in time and the space, you are flowering. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let us chant Om Shanti 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 3 times and keep looking deep inside the heart. One breath. Second breath. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Your voice will tell me the story. Third breath. Fourth breath. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Your saying of Om Shanti Shanti changes, and that you notice, then you know you are already there. Let us do the fifth one. Another breath. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Check how many times you have forgotten. That tells the story. Bring your mind on the right palm, on your left palm. Raise both your palms. Place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. Bring your hands down. Let us share our experiences. You know that... Yes, and how are you, Janet?
I'm good.
Good?
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah, it was comfortable.
It was comfortable. Yes, it will help. Now, I'm an avid reader. I always want to know what is happening latest in science and studies, and so that I can relate it to what I do. But during the meditation, your body is your laboratory. It is the research laboratory. You have to work within yourself. Always keep that separate when you start the practice. When you are into the practice. If you don't do it, you'll always be confused. How are you?
Me?
Yes.
I'm good.
You're good?
When I started breathing,
Yeah.
I saw some faces. I don't know what does that mean, but
Yeah.
I was trying to recognize them. I did not recognize.
Did you recognize me?
I don't know what is that good or bad?
Yes. No. Nothing is good and bad, because the mind moves suddenly very deep inside, and it picks up some of the past impression that turns into the faces. Let them come and go. The moment you start paying more attention to it, then in every meditation, those faces becomes the object of your meditation. Where it will lead you to? Doc knows. It will lead you to hallucination. Don't do that. Simple understanding. Don't try to focus your mind to anything that is objective to the mind.
So I was trying to recognize
No.
what is okay.
We have a lot of things to recognize in our daily life. Don't recognize in meditation, my friend. Don't do it. Never. Let them come and go.
Okay.
Huh? Why? You are treating the path of meditation. You are on a highway. Do you stop if some car comes?
No.
Don't do it. Simple explanation.
Very nice.
Very nice. I am nice. You are nice. Practice is nice. Everybody is nice. Nice. Good. Yes, doctor. How are you?
No, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Relaxing.
Yeah, relaxing. Yeah. And I became a little tough. So your mind becomes more alert. So you have to become tough to your mind if you want really to succeed and change. How are you, Brian?
Relaxing, but feel sleepy today.
Feels okay. Sleep is okay. Sleep is okay. In one of the teachings, the master says that, no, not for you. It's a generalization. It's an understanding. One of the masters says that you cannot do any practice of meditation, so let me continue the journey. I'll give you more and higher practice. And every time the student disciple falls into the sleep. And the master was very happy. Why? Because your mind is not moving into the same habitual routine during the practice, at least you moved one step ahead. And if that self-talking continues, that may result into anxiety and the stress. It is constantly, we're talking, chirping like, our mind is chirping like a bird, Now is the season, you can compare. So it's very good. Any sleep comes in between, it is okay in the beginning. But when you continue the practice, the sleep breaks up. But this happened to you after a long time. Not now. Carmela, how are you?
Very good, very peaceful at the end. I didn't want to come out. And at the end, I felt like a bird rest on my right shoulder.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah. That's another, because Carmela has been doing almost for 5-6 years. She has been more or less regular. So there are two sets of experiences. Let me explain you. One set of experiences that you had. You start looking at the faces and the mind wants to chase it. When the mind wants to chase it, the mind is in the habit of looking at the objective content. It has to be dropped. It's a long journey. But for Carmela, it comes and it goes. It gives her another state of the joy and the peace. It can happen to anyone. So that joy and the peace has to do with higher state of meditation. So we know there are a lot of masters and teachers talks about it. It's so wonderful. How are you, Nishant?
Very good, but last few minutes were really great.
Really?
Yeah.
That is it. Last few minutes were only the meditative state. Wonderful. Wonderful. Try this at your home. Say, no, can I say?
Yeah.
I'm just in a fun and play manner. Go to your home, honey, how are you? But inside, maintain that state of a fun and play. The moment I identify with the honey, with anyone outside, the problem begins. The problem is there. It's a breeding ground of a problem. So just start that, So you tell her, honey, let us sit, let me help you meditate today. And see what he says. How are you, Kevin?
Very relaxed. Yeah, I feel really good. I feel like I don't like over the time that I've been practicing and stuff. Like it's amazing, like the difference from beginning.
Yeah, there is a lot of change in you. I could see that.
It's more like the silent, like I feel nothing, like
nothingness.
No stuff coming in now, and then sometimes like when I'm like meditating, like I get like when I'm sitting, like I'll be sitting and then like I get into it like pretty deep, and I feel like almost like my neck snaps back, like, but I'm not going to sleep.
Not going to sleep. Yes, I could see that. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. It's a kind of self-absorption, but still you are fully aware.
Yeah. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's a progress. Very relaxing. Good. So we will continue. It will help you to reduce your anxiety, manage your stress, but it's a highway. It's a journey. It's not a